Welcome friends. Today we will be doing on motivation skills. We need to have goals, needs and values, and all these three put together it will be your motivation. We need to characterize the nature of motivation, identify and describe the major content in this, and identify and describe the major process, describe the reinforcement of perception of on motivation, and identify and describe popular motivational strategies, and describing the role of organizational reward systems in motivation. That will be our learning objectives in this module. Dear friends, the nature of motivation. Motivation, the set of forces that cause people to behave in certain ways. The importance of motivation at workplace is to determine the individual performance, to desire to do a job or capability to do a job or resources to do a job. There is a content perspective on motivation. Content perspective is approaches to motivation that try to answer the question. Content perspective of motivation, you have hierarchy of needs, you have factor theories, then you have need hierarchy approach, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that is physiological, security, belongingness, esteem and self-actualization. Weakness of Maslow's theory is there are 5 levels need to not be always present. The process perspective of motivation is the process perspective approaches to motivation is to be focused. Process perspective of motion is expectancy theory and equity theory. Dear friends, the motivation always works on the process. It is not an end by means. It is a process. Motivation is always a process. That is not just the end or the means. So, reinforcement theory is there. We can work on it. There are many reinforcement theories in the organization. Positive reinforcement, avoidance reinforcement, punishment and extinction. Providing reinforcement in organization, it schedules, fixed internal schedules, variable internal schedules, fixed ratios and variable ratios. There are popular motivational strategies, dear friends, improvement, empowerment, participation and areas of participation for employees. So, techniques and issues in the empowerment also has to be taken care, like using working team, decentralization and conditions necessary for empowerment, like power, commitment, systematic and patient efforts, increased commitment to training. Dear friends, motivation is training our mind and heart in simple way, I can say. First, there should be a self-motivation. Then we should know how to motivate others too. Using a reward system to motivate performance, merit reward systems or incentive reward systems. The top manager's perspective to understand it. There are leading employees, like leadership is influencing people to behave through communicating, enabling others to act, modeling the way, disciplining, encouragement, encouraging the heart and motivating it. Should I be an autocrat or a democrat? The question is a wrong question about leadership style. We cannot be an autocrat or a democrat. Leadership, we cannot have it. We should be a leader, an effective leader. There are styles, basic styles in motivating, directing, coaching, supporting and delegating styles of leadership. These 4 types of leadership will help in motivating. There is a lot of, like most employees prefer to be motivated. They'll say there is no motivating point in it. Self-motivation plays a crucial role, but we should also know how to motivate them. So it contributes to the motivation partnership. It can be self-motivated or right job for a right environment, or willing to learn, or commitment to the organization's vision, or communicating needs and listen to employees' point of view. All will help you in motivation. We also know evaluating employees. How am I doing? We feel like somebody should tell us, oh, I am doing really nice. Being in the top management, seldom people will come and tell you, oh, you are doing wonderful. But you have to tell everybody that you are doing wonderful. So feedback helps. It helps in improving employee performance, decrease turnover, motivate self-improvement, build trust, prevent litigation, and create a proper trial useful in litigation. So understanding all these, you need to have an objectives and performance, measure the performance of individual. So you have to choose the evaluation process. How, and you should give tips to the employees' reviews. How you train all the supervisors to do employee reviews. You need to do employee reviews, and then only that will motivate them. Ask employees to think about their own performance. So self-appraisal is very important. Now in the self-appraisal, they have to come out, relationship between the motivation and performance is such that the self-appraisal should meet the needs of the others, and the employee appraisal should have a base on the self-appraisal also. The financial incentives can be given as a motivation. MBO steps can be taken up. The most important, there are types of teams like problem-solving team and self-managed teams. So you can have a team development, employee motivation. You can do it with the performance and motivation ability to be taken up. So there can be the self will help, and theories of motivation. There are lots of theories: expectancy theory, equity theory, reinforcement theory, and agency theory. Of course, we did speak much about reinforcement theory. Contemporary theories of motivation are actually three needs theory, goal setting theory, reinforcement theory, designing motivation theory, equity theory, and expectancy theory. Now all these theories need, first is the absence. It will, how these theories will work for absence, presence, or dissatisfaction, or hygienic factors, or normal conditions, or no motivations, or motivation, motivational factors, and normal conditions, no dissatisfaction. So all these will work on it. So reinforcement theory we already designed. It is more important on the job designing. Cross-cultural challenges are important. Flexible work and job schedules, compressed work week. Expectancy theory will give you on the balance and instrumentality, expectancy and motivation, assumptions, managing balance, managing instrumentally, and managing expectancy. So employee motivation, you have status, working conditions, company policies, job security, pay and benefits, relationship, and supervision. All this will form under an employee motivation. Now then, what is motivation? Now a bigger question. Employer point of view, it is the productivity, paycheck, and job satisfaction. It is the employer. But the need to desire that causes a person to act, to have initiative, a spirit, or to be enterprising is the motivation. So it is a higher order of motivation now. You are making a contribution. It is a personal motivation now. Employees' motivation, supervisors' praise, respect of colleagues and peers, being informed and happenings, having meaningful and interesting work. How to motivate then employees? Track projects, give support and accolades when deserved, gain respect of peers, providing diversity if possible, and just ask them. Self-staff motivators, free candy, paycheck, opportunity to do good, work with professionals, good for the environment, fulfilling job, peer recognition, project work, like people and work people, diversity in job and field opportunities. Dear friends, self non-motivators are there. No windows in office. They all are staff non-motivators. Dangerous carpets, building safety issues, decreasing benefits, too much red tape and bureaucracy. So all this is non-motivators. So don't do such things and non-motivators. There are highest motivators like thanks personally, timely, often and sincerely. If you thank, that itself will be a small motivator. Take time to meet and listen to staff, provide feedback, encourage new ideas, initiatives, plan ahead. Individuals should plan ahead to motivate. That influences the motivation. Needs influence motivation. Type of content theories can be used, like two-factor theory, acquired needs theory, or hierarchy of needs theory. Motivations of individual needs and needs can be taken care. Once the needs are taken care, automatically employees get motivated. Employer should see that no employee will ask him anything. Unasked, if you give, they get motivated. After a struggle they feel it is there, they got it. So they don't get motivated. And understand the process of theories of motivation. And equity theory is the most important one. When people believe that they have been treated unfairly in comparison to others, then they feel very bad. So equity theory is everybody is same. Expectancy theory is they expect, means they do hard work and they expect for the employee. The expectation is that employer recognizes. The recognition is the expectancy theory. Managerial implications of expectancy theory is to select workers with ability, train workers with ability, support their efforts, and clarify performance goals. Dear friends, fundamentals of reinforcement theory already we spoke, and that is the most important thing. Operating condition strategies are important. So job simplification, job satisfaction, emotional and cognitive motivation, self-efficacy to perform the job, all these are the employee engagement. If you engage the employee in a proper way, they get self-motivated. That's the most important thing. There should be a drive in each of them to work for it. And as we were speaking about Maslow's hierarchy theory, the 5 categories are in the hierarchy. There are, of course, 7 categories. The physiological, safety, belongingness and esteem and self-actualization are the hierarchy. Need for beauty and need to know, these are also there in the needs. So all these needs are met, definitely motivation is there. So 4 drive theory, like drive to acquire, drive to bond, drive to learn and drive to defend, there also are the way to go about it. And expectancy theory also, effort, performance, then outcome. Management challenges in motivation. Understand what makes leaders unique. Distinguish between management and leadership, then they will be the best motivators. Now, best motivators are able to, like a leadership and management, compare and contrast. Then you will understand how best they influence skills, flexible skills, motivational skills, and delegation skills. All these skills are there for the management skills for a leadership to motivate people. Now, practices associated with leadership by managers are planning and organizing, supporting problem solving, clarifying, informing, monitoring, motivating, consulting, and recognition. All these are the jobs of a manager. So, power and leadership also go through. Like you have an expert power, referent power, legitimate power, coercive power, then reward power. And this reward power motivates the individual. Tried theories, behavioral theories, and contingency theories also are their traditional approaches, but sometimes it works. Nowadays, it may not work much. Behavioral theories, yes. Initiating the structure, consideration, employee orientation, production orientation, all these will help them. You should know how to find the ways to motivate. With minimal sales, the company must consider other methods to motivate employees. So, flexibility, positive feedback, expert input, sharing the wealth, and creating a team. Stock options in the flexibility, flexible starts time, flexible work week, and family leave. Now, positive feedbacks, talk with employees, acknowledge them in person or monthly staff meeting or company newsletter. Expert input, sometimes get the expert and let them give the input about the company. The rewards and recognition is the main aspect of the motivation. Share the wealth, incentives to perform better, guaranteed houses when profits rise, or be part of the team, promote from within, provide skills training. Finish it up, small group discussions, conclusions. So all these will give. So a manager should be able to provide good motivation. Then who is this manager? Sometimes it becomes meaningless acronyms, needlessly active, general employee resentment, and negative motivation. This is. So motivate in a proper way, easy way, and strategic execution of the programs taken. Engagement of the talent is a very important thing. You start with, you treat your people well, your people treat your customers well, and your customers will tell their friends call you and want to buy, you hire more workers to meet your demand. See the motivation, how it goes. Global employee recognition you can give. You start working on global employee services, then recognition and assessments and rewards, employee programs, and truly global it should be. So employee benefits are different types of benefits are there which you can use it and motivate them. Dear friends, motivation is the most important. Employer, yes, but you being an employee, you should have a self-motivation to get all these motivations, benefits. Thank you. Welcome friends. Today we will be talking about performance management. Now what is this performance management? Performance management is the employee performance, specific outputs, program specific outputs, and goals specifics, objectives, strategic goals, and company mission. Performance management gives you authority, responsibility, evaluation procedures, criteria, standards and measurements, written evaluation and communication, and evaluation ratings and merit pay. Dear friends, there is an old and new form. A comparison will be there. So in that comparison, we have to understand the responsibility, new performance elements categories, and rating difference between the new form and the old form. There is a performance evaluation tools too, performance element worksheets, summary accomplishments, brief exercise. All these do come in the performance management. In general, performance management is an ongoing process of communication between a supervisor and an employee that occurs throughout the year in support of accomplishing the strategic objectives of the organization. The communication process includes written objectives, identifying goals, providing feedback, and evaluating results. Dear friends, understand the process of the management. The performance process has to be understood. Now, supervisor responsibility. What is the supervisor's responsibility? Setting goals and performance expectations, coaching and mentoring, communication and feedback, no performance issues and non-performance issues, no surprises. So, this is a collective bargain done by the supervisor. Employee responsibility. Satisfactory performance of the job functions. Complete 6 to 7 goals and expectations. Complete training and development goals. Summary of accomplishment and identification of 7 to 8 goals and training to be achieved with the review period. Dear friends, understand that the performance is not for one day. It is throughout the year. So you have to have a planning, career development, recognition, and then assessment. So it goes with the assessment, career development, planning, and assessment. So the procedures are there. What are the evaluation procedures we have to follow in process management? Careers of employees, non-career, limited team, extended limited team, probationary employees, midpoint and 6 months, performance period, call of evaluation, and deadlines and submission. Dear friends, these are some of the things we always look into why it has to be done within that period. So performance management, the criteria, standards and measurements should be looked after. Human resource management philosophy, department operation expectations, managing expectations, supervisory expectations, important, no arbitrary expectations. Performance expectation standards should be functions listed in the evaluation and skill levels. Methods and measuring and verifying performance should be direct observation, achieved expectations and outcomes, written periods, feedbacks and coaching, informal and formal counseling, and corrective action. Dear friends, there is a written evaluation. Performance rating also is more important. Now, how do we rate the period of whichever the performance is being given? All facts of last year's performance to support the rating. Recommended use of summary of accomplishments. Provide expectations and goals for next year's review. Represent training and development goals for next year. Dear friends, performance management approach will be identify the process, align the performance, track, monitor, and discuss, review performance, and identity development plan. Evaluation communication, and prior to finalizing written evaluations. Final evaluation should be discussed. Employee signature should be there. So what is important? Reward, ratings and merit. Important to maintain integrity of evaluation ratings. Ratings aid in the determination of merit increases. Ratings recognize and reward staff members, and employee receives present and percentage and increase aligned to their performance rating levels. Employees are well aware of the impact of ratings and merit results. So dear friends, What should be the old and new form of comparison? Why are we changing to the new form? Why can't we continue with the old form? Because old form was very restrictive and did not provide recognition of employees' full performance and achievements for the evaluation period. If it doesn't provide it, we go for the new one. So provide a more defined link for both staff members and to the employers. Should be a comprehensive performance management implementation model. So new performance elements categories should be communication, job knowledge, productivity, customer focus, technology skills, problem solving, interpersonal relationship, teamwork, flexibility, creativity, innovation, and dependability. Identifying rating differences, review evaluation criteria handout 2. To assist the transition, we have to work on understanding individual differences. Dear friends, we do need the concept of personality, sources of personality differences, personality structure, personality and the behavior, concept of attitude, attitudes and behavior, job satisfaction and organizational commitment, individual differences and ethical behaviors, and case. So you have to define the concept of personality, you have to give an important note to it, and then interactionist perspective too should be given. There is a heredity. In the research work, it is said that 50% of the variance in personality is inherited. There should be an environment. It shapes 50% of personality. The culture, family, group membership, life experiences, all this help you in personality. The big 5 personality factors are adjustment, sociability, consciousness, agreeableness, and intellectual openness. So how do we work on these big 5? We have to make an achievement. Self-esteem is the most important factor. Learning, goal orientation, performance oral orientation, MBO process cycle. Yes, management by objectives is the most important thing. Business intelligence and insight is very important. The concept of definition, there are attitudes. And concept of attitude, the attitude consists of 3 components. Affective component, which is feelings, cognitive component, the beliefs, and behavioral components. All these 3 components are very important in attitudes. Attitudes do not normally predict or cause behavior in a simple and direct way. So job satisfaction is enhanced when work is challenged and interesting but not tiring. Dear friends, organizational commitment is needed. Strong organization commitment makes you understand their goals and values, and also effort on behalf of you to the organization to exert the willingness of the employees and strong desire to maintain membership in the organization. Higher commitment is also needed. So initial commitment, what is the initial commitment they have? It should be determined by the individual and the degree of congruence between their expectations and organizational realities. Subsequent commitment is influenced by job experiences, including many of the same factors which influence job satisfaction, like pay, interpersonal relationships, working conditions, advancement opportunities. All these will work on it. Characterized by significant individual differences. People are more likely to behave ethically if they have reached a higher level of cognitive moral development, or if they possess the internal locus of control or cultural support. Do we have different types of management ethics? Yes, we have immoral management, moral management, and amoral management, which we spoke a lot in the ethical management. So you have to improve on, prioritize, first have a control, then prioritize, then have improve, and this will be the execution part of it. So what are the different steps for the moral management? Now, when we talk about the performance management, how does the moral management come into it? Both are not same, because performance is linked with the moral management. Identifying ethical attitudes crucial for the organization's operations and using the training programs to foster them. Select employees with desired attitudes. Establish a work culture that reinforces ethical attitudes. Dear friends, performance management focuses on the appraisals, performance appraisal. That's why there should be a self-appraisal, then organizational appraisal, and the employee appraisal and employer appraisal. So all this, simple thing, the experience. And when you experience, think about your last review. You just say, what thoughts come to mind? What went wrong? What is right? Where it is gone? So we have to have a self-enhancement where we have to think very ethically and morally. So performance management, you can set the goals, communicate, observe and evaluate. Now in this goal setting and communication and evaluating, why manage performance? A big question might be asked by the managers, why should we manage performance of the subordinates or the colleagues? It is an important factor, because in a hierarchy ladder, upward communication is important and upward performance is also most important thing. Encourage and reward behaviors. What do employees expect? Okay, employer expects many things, but what does the employee expect? Clear expectations. Positive and constructive feedback on a regular basis. Involvement in goal setting. Be treated fairly and consistently. Sharing the information and resources. Job career enrichment. Dear friends, planning for the process. Review the employee's job description. Understand the performance measurement system. Review notes from the year and understand employee expectations. So, the types of appraisal forms can be created. It can be an exempt form, it can be an exempt managerial form, it can be a non-exempt and senior administrator form too. So the rating scales can be excellent, where exceeds the standards, good if it is very fully meets the standards, acceptable, usually meeting the standards, and unsatisfactory where they don't meet the standards. Standards have to be set by each organization again. It cannot be a national standard or a local standard or an international standard. We have to. So excellent standards have to be set by the organization. Exceptional performance, consistently exceeding the communicated expectations of job requirement, functions, responsibilities, and goals. Clearly considered to be exceptional performers, where they demonstrate unique understanding of work beyond assigned area of responsibility. Identify needs and provide unique, innovative, and workable solutions to the problem. Achievements and abilities are obvious to subordinates, peers, managers, and customers. Dear friends, there is a business intelligence. Your management, information technology, and your business. All these three put together, it is called business intelligence. So you have to say good means fully meeting the standards, and then you have acceptable and unsatisfactory performances. Dear friends, every organization wants an excellent employee who can perform every year excellently till his last retirement day. So that should be the concept of an employee, and expectation from the employee that we have to work till the last day of our retirement with consistency, with politeness, with all the skills in our hand and standardization. We cannot question people once we are observed for the performance. So we have to expect that these things will happen towards the end. So we have to make ourselves a better employee. So notice, see the location, self-evaluation, appropriate form, and comments and supervisory approval. All these are needed when you are scheduling a meeting with an employee and employer meeting. Filling out the forms is a must. We found, my experience tells, many of the employees are not interested in filling the forms properly. They just fill it for the sake because employers are asking. That's where the mistake is, because you just fill it, not the correct one. And either you are overestimating yourself or underestimating yourself. So self-appraisals should be filled in a proper way. Setting effective goals. Setting your goals is the most important thing. Smart goals, that should be. And common mistakes we come. Because labeling we do, recency we do, central tendency, leniency, halo effects, constancy, and similarity. Because the other one is doing, I will also do it. All these are common mistakes we perform. So performance appraisal should be practiced too. The employees must be given the self-appraisals, asking them to come out with all these things. So there is a common performance appraisal challenges, and conducting these meetings are the challenges. Remembering the dates is a challenge. So writing effective performance appraisal. How do we write? Provide accurate written feedback on a performance and accomplishments of appraisal cycle. Establish performance goals, expectations for coming cycle. Address professional development needs using competencies or other feedback. Dear friends, performance management has the steps. Step 1 is goal set to align with together lower level goals, then behavioral goals, ongoing performance appraised, formal reviews, and HR decision. Now each step you are the person to act. So writing these effective performance appraisals, we need to prepare. Gather relevant performance documentation. Advise staff. Ask staff to complete self-appraisals. Then assess the performance. Describe the performance and provide supporting examples for further study or clarification. So here is an example is given in the module. Please go through the module and see how it should be written. Set clear expectations, that's what we said, and have the types of expectation. We are going on saying clear, set goals and expectation. Quantity or output, quality or behavior expectations. Yes, everybody wants the product, end product should be good and behavior should be good. The two main expectations are the work expectation and the behavior expectations. So what is this SMART criteria to write expectation? SMART means specific. S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for results oriented, T stands for time bound, and again S stands for stretch. So this is SMART's criteria to write your expectations. So you have to address your professional development needs of the staff, increase individual staff performance and effort, enhance the skills and abilities of the workforce, improve overall productivity, increase staff commitment and engagement, retain the highly qualified, diverse workforce. Dear friends, there is a professional development feedback through. It is a very important thing. Identifying competency areas, staff member needs to enhance. The formal or informal training should be given. Development assignments should be given. And discussing and formulating career plans is the most important thing. Can we discuss all these things very openly with the employer? An employer can talk to the employee? Yes. It should be an open discussion. There is no confidentiality. When you write a report, you write a appraisal, there should be pure openness and understanding. How staff members demonstrate competencies are identified for a current appraisal cycle. The feedback competencies should include a detailed, qualitative, help staff members' professional development, discuss in detail and advise staff members how a competency area could be better developed. So, dear friends, if the individual is there, along with him, he has to manage, and there should be a internal customers. There might be peers with him. Your behaviors should be taken. With managers, you have to go, and external customer is also there. So you have to have the behaviors and your output. So instead of the feedback, you can consider writing it. So program uses a 5-tier overall rating system where you can say set members' performance, staff members' performance consistently meets the frequently exceeds all established goals and expectations, performance consistent meeting expectations of for the position, and specific areas are required and unacceptable for the position, and significant improvement is required. So things you should consider when selecting the overall rating is, did the staff member achieve all the expected goals or expectations for this appraisal cycle? Yeah, that's the most important thing. You should put a question to yourself how you are going to rate an employee. When completing appraisal, remember, give accurate, honest, detailed feedback, be fair and consistent, take into consideration the entire appraisal cycle, including extending circumstances that affected performance. Feedback should summarize the verbal, written feedback given to the staff during the appraisal cycle, include feedback and discussions on professional development, differentiate overall ratings based on actual performance results obtained, and this is an important decision that should support other employment decisions and comply with university policies. Dear friends, there should be a feedback and coaching. There are first year and feedback should be there, goal setting feedback should be there, feedback should be modified if it is needed, and also goals can be modified. So dear friends, this is a performance management. It is very important both for an employer and employee. So please work in such a way that every year, at the end of your year, your performance is judged in a real good way. And if you have to judge the others, please judge in a proper way and have your ethical values intact in performance management. Thank you. Welcome friends. Today we will be discussing about presentation skills. Presentation skills are almost like transferable skills from being a graduate through with qualifications and experience plus specific skills put together is equal to success. So now ideas, concepts or issues talked about or spoken to a group of our audience is called a presentation skill. Our public speaking is one of the most feared things. Skills required to give a good presentation can be developed from a preparation is the key. Dear friends, preparing planning is the first step in the ladder of success. Aspects for the development of a good presentation will be subject-centered, audience-centered and self-centered. I want to, what, where, when and how, because, why. Now helpers, who will be the helpers in your presentation skills? Who is your audience? What do you want to present? The content. What do you want to present? The purpose. Why you want to present is a purpose. Where will you presenting is a place. How do you want to present? That is the words to be used or not, slides to be used or not. So preparation is the audience analysis. What is the audience interested in? What does the audience want? What does the audience already know and need to know? What are their needs, expectations from this presentation? How will the audience benefit from this presentation? Dear friends, performing needs a presentation needs a planning. The planning might be the presentation purpose, then audience profile, then key message, and then developing the content. Now when you go through all these process, your presentation will be the best. Understand the structure, the content in line with the audience needs. What do you want to tell the audience? What is your objective? Prepare keeping in mind the time allotted. Anticipate the questions and prepare. Collect material from a variety of sources. Arrange points logically and sequentially. Prepare handouts as well. Structuring the presentation. 2 to 2.5 minutes of opening and beginning. 20 to 21 minutes of middle section. 2 to 3 minutes of closing and 5 minutes of questions. This should be your presentation timing, time allotment. Beginning should be carefully designed. Get attention, shock, humor, question, story, facts and figures. Well rehearsed yet natural. Motivate audience to listen. Listen to their needs. Preparation, structure. Sequence should be logical and understandable. In-term summarizes the recipes or recaps. Value of visual aids, flip charts, handouts, and use of 4 P's. What are these 4 P's? Position, possibilities, problem, and proposals. Prepare closing. Last 2 to 2.5 minutes are as critical as the first 5 minutes for a successful presentation. Summarize, highlight important points. Suggest actions. What do you do and when, where, and how to do it? Dear friends, there should be presentation skill, confidence, and success. What to do with your hands? You should know. Talking too fast, you should know. Mental blocks, where are they? Panic and embarrassment. You should leave all these things. You should move your hands, but not too often. You should be fast, but you should not be very fast that nobody can understand you. There should not be a mental block. There should be a flow of thought and the way you speak, and you should not get panic while you are talking, and you should not conduct any embarrassment for others while you are talking. So stage fright. Most of them have this stage fright. Everybody has some degree. Yeah, when we start very early, I do remember I used to go for dance, music, everything, but to talk for an elocution or a debate, I never went till I was 12, 13 years. I used to have a stage fright. And once there was an elocution in the school, and I was making fun of the people who were talking. Suddenly our master called me up and said, "You will talk." And the topic was, if you become a prime minister. I'm talking, this is some 45 years back. 46, 47 years back. And the master said, you have to speak to the whole school. There were 1,000 students there. Now, I was just seeing here and there because I never spoke before the mic. He said, no, speak. You were sitting and making fun of everybody. Now stand here and talk. And when I started, I thought, let me feel nobody knows anything in front of me. Let me talk. I just stared at them but never felt that somebody is in front of me, and I just spoke. That was the day my fright before the stage has gone. My master understood and he tapped my talent up and he said, come on, speak. After that I never looked back. Participated in all the debates and won all the debates, whether it is a local level, national level or international level. So dear friends, the fright is there with every person to talk before the mic. So can be used constructively. Don't use it so. Some people shiver in their legs, but Behind the podium, they will be standing and all this shift. Podium is for that. I always tell them, the podium is for the people who shiver in their legs. So I don't prefer standing behind the podium and talking. I come forward and talk with the people in a free way. So key issue is that stage fright should go in your presentation. Eliminate the fear. Instead of channel the energy, it generates of an effective presentation. Effective delivery. How do you give that effective delivery? Be active and have a move. Be purposeful, controlled gestures, variation, vocal, pitch, volume, note, rate. Be natural, be direct. Don't just talk in front of the audience to talk to them. Group facilitation, verbal communication barriers, speaking too fast. We should speak fast. There should not be any blogs in mind, but it should not be so fast that nobody understands you. Using jargon, tone and content. There should be content in what you are speaking. Just whiling away your time is no good. Complicated and ambiguous language, not questioning. Physical state of the audience. Here I am talking to you, I am lecturing you. I am not presenting anything to you. It is not a presentation which I am doing it. I might ask you questions, but in our presentations we don't ask questions to the audience when they are in front of us. Sensitivity to the audience. See the audience. Always look at the audience. Take non-verbal feedback. Modify the meet audience needs. Don't just make it as a presentation just because you read it out there. No. Talk to them, present to them, explain to them. Handling questions. Do not get confused. You are not supposed to know everything. Anticipate and keep answers readily, because people do come out with some questions. If you know, answer it properly. If you don't know, just don't get panicked. Just say, thank you. I think I should research more on this. Sometimes questions themselves give you a lead to highlight your point of view. So observe that. Listen. Critical listening and active listening is very important. Visual aids are just like point with a pen, appropriate lighting, watching the colors, ensuring clear visibility, 10 lines, 10 words per line. Like that you have to have the visual aids too. So to conclude, always prepare, channelize your fear, interact with your audience. Dear friends, have 4 P's. Plan, prepare, practice and present. Yes, these 4 P's, how you will act when you are planning. Start like this. When you are planning, why you are planning, the purpose, whom you are planning, who are the people. Prepare, what to prepare. Practice, how to practice. And present, when to present and where to present. So if you answer these questions, your presentation will be perfect. Your skills of presentations will enhance. So develop a theme. Use good quality images. Be sensitive to audience taste. Be consistent with imagery. Link your messages and illustrations. Dear friends, there are 101 ways to improve your communication skills. We have spoken very much on the communication skills, techniques, listening, speaking and listening, and general tips. There are so much. So what is the presentation skills components for business? For business, 7% words, 38% style, and 55% body language. So your body language speaks. That also comes into your presentation. So your presentation skills are on the body language and the style. And communication, the words are only 7%. So your communication skills are oral, written or non-verbal. Go with keynote coaching. broadcasting the message or sound presentations. Communication, speaking, keep to it. All the techniques, define and understand the techniques of listening, speaking, and executive coaching. And all these will help you to even reading, help you for your self-awareness, your lifelong learning, your managing change, building relationships, and personal performance. All will help you in the presentation skills. Dear friends, it is from alignment to door of HR process. So you have to have all after putting it, we come back to a question, what is communication? We discuss so much about the communication, but again and again, it is a communication for the presentation skills. So it's a process of meaningful interactions among human beings. So it has essences. Personal process occurs between people, and it should be social and emotional process too. Dear friends, there can be the common ways to communicate. Visual images, body language, written work, and spoken word. All these can. Only one thing to be importantly emphasized is practice. Practice, practice, practice. This is what? In performance, don't get apologized. Speak loudly and clearly. Don't feel short sentences, simple sentences use. Avoid jargons and abbreviations. Vary your pitch, volume, speed, and pauses. And understand, avoiding distracting mannerisms. You should not have the mannerisms where the audience get distracted. Relax. Be enthusiastic. Make eye contact. Keep an eye on the time remaining. Explain figures and give clear and concise summary. Don't go over time ever. Don't take more time. Your aspects of communications which we will be discussing here. Why reading is important. Reading situations we have done in detail about reading, and you have to bring in all those things again into your presentation skills. Dear friends, develop the mind and understand the creative side of it and knowledge base of it. Expand your knowledge. Understand the activate of the flow of the ideas. Boost your confidence. Reading approaches need to be enhanced. SQ3R. What is this SQ3R? We go on talking about SQ3R. What does it mean? It is a style of reading like survey, question, read, recall, and review. So that is SQ3R. Improve your listening skills by preparing attention, pseudo listening. Hindrance should not be there. Vocal tone should be, look for it, and have the listening skills like notice body language again, summarize, paraphrase, and check for understanding. What is the duty of parents in this? You are parents because you are the top management. Parenting affirms, reinforces, empowers, nurtures, teaches, and success. So your role for your fellow colleagues and friends, you can do the parents' role. In presentation skills, parents' role is not the physical parents, but the way you put it as parenting, affirming and reinforcing, empowering, nurturing, teaching, and success. Dear friends, active listening should be there in presentation skills. You should become good listeners also. Have active listening, good group discussion, and adult quizzing. All these will help and improve your listening skills. Presentation skills need all these things. I am looking with my eyes. Yes. I am listening with my mouth closed. I am listening with my legs crossed. I am listening with my brain on. All these are listening. But we are doing simultaneously some other activity also. So how to win an argument? In a presentation skill, sometimes we have to win an argument too. So there are many write-ups available for reading which suggests that the reader should be rough, ruthless, circulating, and oftentimes not completely truthful in an argument. So dear friends, be very clear and truthful while you are arguing. Wrong statistical data should not be given, wrong examples should not be put, and you be true to yourself and to the situation and to the presentation. So win-win situation should be there. How can you win an argument? You should reach it to the goal, use a strategy, and don't retaliate. Understand the positive communication skills and techniques. Prepared for and proper attention should be paid. Direct and clear. You have to be very direct and very clear. Listen and respond correctly. Avoid assumptions. Be generous with positive and encouraging feedback. Try to resolve a conflict. Genuinely agree at least one point. Try to build bridges. Shoulder the responsibility and let go of needing to be right thinking. Avoid emotional stress and tensions. Verbal and non-verbal communication should be taken care. Focus on what is already working. Your personal style speaks volumes. Change yourself to change others. Understand how the other person sees the world. Consider natural differences while communicating. Listen more than speaking. Increase awareness of body language, time management, and top of all, have command over the language. We should have command over the language. Dear friend, there should be a correct translation starting with a positive note and respecting and kindness. Body language, right body language. No blame game. We should not blame others. Well-timed communications. When to speak, where to speak, how to speak, and why to speak is the most important factor in presentation skills. How to improve your non-verbal gestures. That helps you lot. Bodily movements, nodding, winking, and rolling of the eyes is there in the presentation skills, and improve your non-verbal gestures. Now, any gesture you use, it should convey a meaning. So, practice makes a man perfect. Have the gestures non-repetitive in nature. It should be interpersonal contact should be there. There should be motive, interest, and purpose for why you are using. So, you are angry, you use your body language. You are fear, you use it. You are joy, also you show it. Frustration, you show through your body language. Exercise, excuse, and puzzled. All this you show through your body language. So, dear friends, the presentation skill has both words, body language, style, presentation, and how you talk, and the most important thing, how your command over the language. So have the best way of presenting and use these skills for your presentations. Thank you. Welcome friends. Let us speak today on public speaking skills. Dear friends, public speaking is an art, and these skills need to be developed. In public speaking skills, we should know what these public speaking skills are. Now, sometimes King of Bollywood like Shah Rukh Khan gave tips on public speaking to all by saying, "My first rule of public speaking is if you don't strike oil in 3 minutes, stop worrying." Same way, the knowledge of the subject is not enough to make your speech a success. Mastering the art of public speaking is easy for some, while it is challenging for others. While some are born with this trait, others can develop these traits. So, dear friends, What are the essential public speaking skills then? Understand what you want to achieve. Before you start working on your speech or presentation, it's important to keep in mind who here stands for audience and what kind of audience you are addressing. So the most important thing is the audience. Then what? What here stands for what you did wish to communicate with in your talk or in the speech. So first is the who, the audience. What is the content? What do you want? So you have to communicate efficiently, so effectively, and that is what you are going to give it. And then you have to have what is the contrary public speaking model. Today we have a simple set of rules, essential, which you can guarantee a good, effective public speaking. That is how to develop a clear, focused and competent core message. How to understand your audience and get the information you need. How to organize and write a speech. How to deliver your speech. How to create and use the visual aids, and how to survive and thrive during the question and answer period. So there again you have the message and to analysis of it. So you have to know why of it is in order to convert your audience into dedicated listeners and need to know why they should listen to you. So the listen is the most important aspect of it. And how? How is here stands for understanding the best way you can communicate your message. Dear friends, then comes when it is very important to develop a sense of timing and delivering a speech. So these are some of the questions to be answered before we start any public speaking. Why the public speaking skills are vital? What are the vital skills? Research the topic well. Less is always more. Each slide to a few bullet points. Add facts, quotations and statistics for every audience to grasp the idea easily. Stories are easy for understanding, opening words and closing words and impact on the audience. We do confuse sometimes the presenting skills and public skills. Presenting skills are the whole process of it, and public speaking skill is the real communication during your speech. Unforgettable deliveries, some of the things we do. Get it? You can make your speech presentation unforgettable. How? Understand the purpose, be precise and concise, use examples, don't talk too fast, pause, play, use a variety of vocal pace, tone, voice and volume. Don't stay stuck, and it's essential to keep your body upbeat. So you have a confident speaker and a fearful speaker. Now you should be a confident speaker. Now in that, the art of public speaking is the most important thing. Now one can define public speaking as the process of speaking to a group of people in a structured, deliberate manner intended to inform, influence or entertain the listeners. It is a powerful tool used to motivating, influencing, persuading, informing, translating or simply entertaining the audience. Public speaking is also one of the human race's greatest fears. Dear friends, select a speech topic, create a speech outline, write the speech, apply gestures, staging and vocal variety, practice and solicit feedback, self-critic, prepared for the next speech. There are some tips for the public speak you should know. Know your material first. The material should be known to you properly. Practice. Explore the audience. Get acquainted with the venue. Relax. Visualize yourself. Do not apologize. Concentrate on the message. Gain experience. Dear friends, word power is the most important aspect. How will you increase your word power? A good word power is not only a necessity but also an obligation during the public speaking. So lack of an efficient vocabulary hinders effective communication and spreads misunderstanding. That's why your vocabulary has to be enhanced, and that's what we spoke a lot on the vocabulary side. And every 1,000 years, thousands of new words are added to the human lexicon, and hundreds of other words get extinct. So extinct words try not to use and start using the new words more. Increase your word power by listening, etymology, check unfamiliar words, solve crosswords, use the words you learn. So the word power is the most. Then how can you give a great speech? There are many famous speeches that are remembered. Remember that a good speaker is more than a good talker. And for giving a great speech, always again, choose a subject for which you have a passion. Be persistent. Patience and persistence go hand in hand, dear friend. Speak from your heart and be completely authentic. Be truthful. Practice your speech. 30 seconds to connect with your audience. Use visual aids when speaking. Know your audience. Modulate your voice. Include illustrations. Add in a bit of humor and view your opportunity. Now, articulation theory. Now, in articulation theory, you have to understand first is the isolation, then syllables, then words, then effectiveness, sentences, stories, then conversation, then public speaking gets into it. The articulation therapy is this. It starts with the isolation of words when you are very young, then you start with the syllables, then words, then sentences, then stories, then conversations, and then become a powerful public speaker. So articulation exercises clarity, the sound, speech per imperfection. So do it with you have to understand how to use which sound should come from where. Now there are types of exercises which you can do it slowly, work out in the modulation. Lot of exercises have been in when for articulation the different types of words starting with different sounds. So take the exercises and work on it. Then can a can as a canner, can a can. Now this is how to a good speaker as the magnetic qualities that a successful speaker possesses draws the masses towards him or her. So sound sincere, cultivate knowledge, learn to modulate your voice, maintain eye contact and add humor. Public speaking. Now we can say who is afraid of public speaking. So importance of communication. Presentations, field research, business communications and public speaking, all these are very important. Fear of public speaking, as we said, there are people, fear is there, but the stage fright, in spotlight or unprepared or inexperienced, then you will have. So you can overcome all these things. There should be effective communications, preparation, practice and presence. Then you have to have sample, speech outline, introduction, thesis, body, supportive arguments, and conclusion, and things which you should not do. Read directly from notes. On the stage, avoid reading from the notes. You can keep the notes with you, but just use it as a reference. Read directly from screen. From the screen, don't read it directly. Turn back on audience. No, never show your back to your audience. Slouch hands in pockets. No, don't keep the pocket in the hands or do like this, scratching, this, slouching. No. No, whom, no, don't do a such thing. No nervous gestures. Talk too fast, don't do that. And talk too quietly, no. So talk in a normal way, understandable way. What you should do? Have eye contact, can glance at notes, appropriate gestures, rhetorical questions to involve audience. Now, accomplishing professional and personal goals is the benefits of a public speaking. So, we should know and we can improve our confidence as a speaker. We should not have nervousness and we can develop your confidence through this. So, speech preparation should be there. Now, criteria for appropriate topic. Interesting to you first, then interesting to your audience. Appropriate to the situation, appropriate to time available, manageable and worthwhile. And the purpose of the statement, you should understand. Organize your speech like introduction, body and conclusion. And that will help you. In organization, select them carefully, phrase them precisely and organize them strategically. The main points, you have to do it in a chronological way. To control the butterflies, you have to have some successful tips. Know your room because familiar with the place of presentation. Understand relaxation is very important. Visualizing your speech. People want you to succeed. Don't apologize, as we said. Concentrate on your message and turn nervousness into positive energy. Gain experience and then practice your speech and say yes I can and overcome your speech anxiety, because acknowledging your fear and acting confidently and channelizing your nervous energy will make you all your weak points as a strong points. Practice, practice, practice. Stimulate setting at home. Ask friends to be practice audience too. Initial days. Visualize your success. Use deep breathing techniques. Focus on message. Don't get fear. Give yourself a mental pep talk. Dear friends, understanding the audience and listening. People think faster than they hear. Have short attention span. Don't jump to conclusion. Easily distracted. So, listening remedies you can find out. Keep speech focused. Divide speech into compact segments. Analyze audience carefully. Adapt to a situation. The audience size, your modulation, your tone, and your loudness all should fit to the audience, the size of the audience, demographics of audience, beliefs and values, receptiveness of audience, context, indoor or outdoor, size and shape of the room, arrangement of seating, equipment available, lighting or acoustics, the setting up of it, and then defining your purpose. Inform, inspire, persuade or entertain or introducing or accepting or paying tribute. What are you doing? So that you have to define your purpose. Then making the process, understanding the speech making process, choosing a topic, researching a topic, organizing your speech, developing an outline, rehearsing a speech and delivering a speech. Yeah, friend, choosing an appropriate topic is very important. it is important to the audience, and holding the audience attention is very important, and managing the time available and appropriate oral presentation and a clear cut idea. Develop central idea, generate main idea, narrow down a topic to what you can start with general and come to a particular, and then give a feedback. Researching the topic is the most important thing. Supporting material should be there if somebody is questioning you, and go to libraries, search from the net, online libraries, and supporting material like common knowledge and direct observations or examples or illustrations or explanations or descriptions or documents. You should have all that, and test the supporting material. Information should be specific, source as an expert, source unbiased, and information timely. Dear friends, the information relevant to point made is the most important aspect you should look into. Does information support the point, and the information is timely? Special considerations are there, like online information. In physical print, our quality is controlled by experts. Online must do own quality control, and organize your speech: chronological, topical, spatial, cause effect, public solution, comparison, and contrast. Types of outlines: preliminary outline and preparation outline. Speaker's outline and ethics in speech preparations. Take accurate notes when researching. Introduce types of functions. Types of functions, when you introduce it, understand identification with audience, reference to situation, statement to purpose, statement of importance of topic, surprise audience with claim or statistics. Stories, rhetorical questions, and quotations and humor. All this will help you in your public speech. And now get attention, introduce the topic, provide motivation, establish credibility. Dear friends, preview your speech. And how do you conclude? Summarize it, or give a quotation or personal reference, or challenge the audience, or offer vision to the future. You can give a story also, humor too, rhetorical questions too, and summarize the speech, or emphasize the main idea, or motivate response, or provide closure. Now, what is the method of delivery you will take? Manuscript reading, memorized one, improvised one, extemporaneous. Or walk calmly when you are giving a beginning of it. Walk calmly with confidence in front, establish eye contact, smile naturally, let there not be an artificial smile, deliver introduction, use effective eye contact, effective language, effective gestures, be enthusiastic, use conversational styles, and use notes as needed. Frame the speech, pause before returning to seat, accept applause graciously. So, vocal delivery is a very important aspect in public speaking. Speech rate and pauses, volume, inflection and pitch, quality of voice, or pronunciation and articulation. So, dear friends, there should be elements of physical delivery. Again, we come down to pin down to body language. The appearance, posture, facial expressions, eye contact, movement, and gestures. Rehearsing the speech. Recreate setting. Practice without memorizing, and time speech. Practice out loud. Practice standing up. Watch yourself. Practice gestures. Practice eye contact. Practice volume. And plan, prepare, polish, practice, and then present, dear friends. So then, understanding what is public speaking is, now we can define it as appearing in front of an audience, facing the audience, presenting your speech and making them understand what you want them to understand within the limited time and resources given to you. So now we can understand even engineers need public speaking, because engineers deal with machines, not with public, we think. No, when they have to present their ideas and all, they need this public speaking skills, because they are all non-technical people. They need to be socializing and mixing with the people and talking it. So even engineers need public speaking. So dear friends, prepare yourself and always give a good speech. Thank you.